What's up everyone, this is Anthony. So have you ever wondered if it's better to go all cash or to use a loan when you're going to buy a house? Well, the answer is quite simple, and as with most things, it depends. Which one you choose will depend on your current financial situation and what you prioritize during the transaction, right? We have to analyze the pros and cons of both to make sure that we're making the right choice. So what are the pros and cons of both? Starting with all cash. What are the benefits of going all cash? First and foremost, you don't have to deal with a lender, and this speeds up the home buying process. For example, number one, when you're buying a house, you can just skip over the first step, which is usually getting your pre-approval done. So all you really need is proof of funds, and you can just go ahead and start looking at houses right off the bat. You don't need to worry about, speaking to the lender, going through a bunch of documents to, get your pre-approval done so that you can get your pre-approval letter. You can just skip through all of that and just go straight into looking at houses because you have all the money in cash. Number two, you can avoid all the additional interest payments, right? If you buy a house for $700,000, you pay $700,000. You don't have to pay $1 million over the span of 30 years, as you would if you took out a loan because of all the additional interest payments. Number three, you don't have to deal with some of the extra closing costs involved with using a lender. So when you buy a $700,000 house all cash, saving a few $1,000s on closing costs isn't going to make that huge of a difference, but still, it's pretty nice, right? You can't complain about that. Number four, since you're not using a lender, you can just remove the loan-related contingencies, right? You can remove the financing contingency and the appraisal contingency. And since you're not using a lender, you can speed up the closing process, right? If you're all cash, you're more flexible. If the seller wants a quick close, you can close in 2 weeks. If the seller needs more time, you can close in a month or 2 months, right? You're more flexible with the seller's wants and needs, which makes your offer much more attractive. And the final reason is that, all cash offers just stand above the crowd. In this competitive seller's market, you're either going to be at a competitive advantage if you're all cash, or you're at least going to have a fighting chance. So moving on to the cons, there's really only one major con of going all cash, and that's that you actually need the upfront capital to buy the house, right? If you use a loan, you can just put 20% down and you can just preserve more of your buying power to buy another property. You can just save it up, to buy whatever else you want to buy. You can invest in something else. You have more options of what you can do with that additional cash that you're not using to buy the house. So that's kind of like the major benefit. So what are the pros and cons of using financing? Well, the pros and cons of using financing are literally just the exact same as all cash, just inverted. The pros of all cash are the cons of financing, and the pros of financing are the cons of all cash. So it's pretty much going to boil to which one you prefer. Do you prefer speed and convenience of an all cash offer, or do you prefer to preserve your buying power? Which one of those two you choose is going to dictate whether all cash or financing is going to be the choice for you.